on some very entertaining breaking news in South Africa. So yesterday in Parliament, the DA ministers, both the Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Leon, and also John Steenhuisen, were on fire yesterday, coming for everyone. But what was interesting was what Mr. Leon was saying, because he was speaking about something about Umkhonto we military wing back then, the freedom fighters of South Africa. Most of them, almost like 2/3, were trained in Ukraine. I want someone to verify that for us and comment here and tell us, is it true? How true is that? What does he mean by that? Because I didn't do much research on that. He was also saying he's not backing down. He's going to continue to mass deport foreigners. Doesn't matter how much it costs. I want you guys to listen to this.
Thank you very much. Let me add to that very salient point from Minister Steenhuisen, that as much as 1/3 of the freedom fighters who were trained in the Soviet Union was in Ukraine. And then there's the suggestion that, no, South Africa must pick a side. We must not be non-aligned. It's clear that what comes out of today's member statement is the political illiteracy of the MK party. Have you ever heard of non-alignment? That is exactly what's happening. I salute our negotiators who have worked on this visa waiver issue, and we will implement the policy of this government. Let me also then say, there's this issue of conflating people who break the law, foreign nationals who come into our country, versus those who want to contribute to this country legally through tourism, through investment, and through skills. Chair, we must know that we are able to chew and walk at the same time. We will differentiate between people who break the law and those who can help us achieve the apex priority of the Government of National Unity, which is to grow the economy and create jobs. That is why we are implementing the measures we're doing at Home Affairs. We are revolutionizing this economy, and no one will deter us. On the other side of this issue, there are some members of this House who have recently suggested that Home Affairs must stop deporting people who violate South Africa's immigration laws. Can you imagine what will happen to this country if we send a signal and say, no, it's fine, you can violate the law as long as it's immigration law, and we'll stop deportations? We will experience a collapse. Let me tell the EFF directly today, we will not be deterred from enforcing the rule of law. We will intensify it, and we will deport those who violate South African law. Thank you, Chair.
You heard him, right? So, about the point of freedom fighters of South Africa, of course, he was mentioning people who were fighting Umkhonto we back then, during apartheid days. Most of them were trained in Ukraine. Can you verify that for us and comment here and explain to us? Because that one, I don't know much about it. I won't come here and lie about that. So he also mentioned the part whereby he's not backing down on the agreement he's trying to fight for, trying to engage or trying to allow visa-free passage to Ukrainians in South Africa. He's not backing down on that. It's going to happen, according to him, because that ministry is with him. That department, Home Affairs, is with him, and it's going to happen. And you can see by how he's speaking that, yeah, this man is determined. It's going to happen, and not anyone is going to come in his way, not even the government, not even Fikile Mbalula, because this guy is saying it's going to happen. So, I thought that was interesting, you know. And he was also explaining that South Africa is non-alignment when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. They are non-aligned to any political, to any country between the two countries, between the war. So he was addressing some members of parliament who represent Umkhonto we, because they were saying, no, what you're doing, trying to bring Ukrainians here is undermining the relationship South Africa has with Russia. And then he replied, he said, no, South Africa's stance is non-aligned. Don't force South Africa to pick a side. South Africa is not picking a side. It's non-aligned to any of these two countries, whether Ukraine or Russia. That's what he's saying. But we all know this is not gonna create it's not gonna create a good reputation for our country and the relationship we have with Russia. We all know that. Let's not lie. We all know this minister is gonna create a lot of problems for our country with the things he's saying. So he's saying he's gonna continue to fight for Ukrainians to come to South Africa visa-free. Another interesting part is that he's not backing down when it comes to deporting foreigners who break the law in South Africa. He's gonna continue to mass deport foreigners when they break the law. Doesn't matter how much it costs. So recently we heard that he deported 19,000 foreigners and he spent 52 million. So he's saying he's not going to stop that. He's going to continue that, and he's going to put on more fire to continue doing that. You heard him. It's not me speaking out of pocket. You heard him. So what he's saying is that he's going to continue to mass deport. Doesn't matter how much he spent. Doesn't matter how much it costs at the government. It must be done because these people are breaking the law, and he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. So I don't know what you guys think, because he's the minister. He deals with it. He handles it. So it's 3 points, yeah. 3 points of discussion. The first one is the one where he says freedom fighters of South Africa, most of them, a third of them, they trained in Ukraine. They trained in Ukraine. You guys will verify that for us. You'll tell us how true is that. And then if it's true, we'll accept it for what it is, because we don't know. So we can't disagree. I didn't do research about that. I don't want to lie. I didn't have time. And the second one is that he's saying the Ukrainians, agree now there's been disagreement. The government president is not going to sign this. Is not going to sign that law, that bill, that policy where it brings Ukrainians. But we know they're going to do it under surface and not tell the country. We know that's what's going to happen. Then Ukrainian, yeah. Then Jewish. Then other races that don't look like us. Under carpet. And when they do crime, there's no outcry. Like these foreigners of ours, the black ones, the black foreign nationals who come from Africa. There will be outcry everywhere, like we see with the Chidima story, has been revived. Why is it being revived now, that story? Now that this guy is facing backlash after he promised to bring Ukrainians here in our country. He's facing backlash. Now he's trying to bring back the Chidima story. And all the media is posting about Chidima. And then there's that, of course. And then there's the part where he says mass deportation is going to continue. It's going to continue. Doesn't matter how much the government spend. It's not going to stop. It's going to deport. The deporter. Hey, I hamba when I hamba. Doesn't care if the border is there or not. Never said anything about building a border. But he's saying he's going to deport these people. Never say anything about border patrol agencies. They're going to be more funded. More people are needed. Nothing like that. Just that we're going to mass deport all of them. No one is going to stop him. So I don't know what you guys think about this information you just heard. You'll tell us what you think. Thank you very much.